Well, good evening and welcome to our third installment of Tenant Tuesdays for Fair Housing Month. My name is Tracy Rezvani, and I am with the Howard County Office of Consumer Protection. For those that don't know about our office, we are the agency in Howard County that helps you resolve your disputes with merchants and your landlords. We can answer questions about your rights and responsibilities by phone, email, or if you wanted to pop in and talk to us in person. We can also enforce the county's consumer and landlord tenant laws, and we obviously do a lot of educational programming. We license peddlers and solicitors. So if anyone's coming door to door during the year, they should hopefully have our ID card with them. And we also license trespass tow companies. Those are non-consensual tow companies. All right. So I mentioned this already. I guess I'm hopping past these. The landlords and tenant laws that we administer are lease-based, so things that have to do with your security deposit or billing issues, things that deal with the money side of it. If the question that you have has to deal with the living condition, working appliances, etc., that's the Department of Inspections, Licenses, and Permits. And that was the program that was the first Tuesday of this series of webinars. But otherwise, we handle anything that deals with the money side of the landlord-tenant relationship. And so that's, you can learn more about it on our website. And I can't get this thing to go forward. All right. So we have presentations today by the Howard County Housing Commission, and I will let each of the speakers introduce themselves when their slides come up, as well as the Howard County Department of Housing and Community Development. So we're actually pretty excited to provide this omnibus program about Rental Assistance 101, as we call it. And so I'm going to turn it on over to, who's first, Sierra or Barbara?
Yes, yeah, me.
All right.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Sierra Gilliam. I am the program manager here at the Howard County Housing Commission, overseeing the Housing Choice Voucher Program. So the Housing Choice Voucher Program, if you're unfamiliar, is a subsidy that is administered by and funded by the federal government, specifically the United States Department of Housing and Community Housing and Community Development, Housing and Urban Development, excuse me. And they give out subsidies, which will go towards applying for rental assistance. That subsidy is income based. In each state, in each locale, if you will, has a PHA that administers that program. The Howard County Housing Commission is one of the entities that administers the voucher program here in Howard County. We're not the only one. There are some other ones, but we probably have the largest amount of vouchers. We administer about 1,500 Housing Choice vouchers here. And the bulk of those are homegrown, meaning you were on our Howard County wait list and you were issued a voucher from there. But we do have some people who got their vouchers in other locations and they ported their vouchers to us, and we now are administering their vouchers here. That's for them to live and to work here in Howard County. How the voucher program works is, if you receive a voucher, you go out, you locate your own housing of your choice, something that you are comfortable with. You submit the paperwork to us. We will determine that it meets the affordability range for you. What affordability means for the Housing Choice Voucher Program is that you cannot pay more than 40% of your income for rent and utilities. So we are going to meet your landlord essentially halfway. You'll pay 40% of your income for part of the rent, and then the voucher will cover the rest of that. Currently, our wait list is closed. We last opened it in 2023. We received about 5,000 applications. We weaned that wait list down to 3,500. So currently we have a wait list of about 3,500 people who are all looking to receive assistance through us. However, we are only able to offer assistance and issue new vouchers to people if we have the funding to do so. Currently, we do not have the funding to do so. So the people on our wait list are just going to be on our wait list until the funding arrangement changes for us. So what we essentially do on a day-to-day basis is we administer the voucher to people who are currently here. We verify that they're still eligible for rental assistance. We pay their rental assistance on their behalf. We will allow them to, and we work with them to move to different units throughout Howard County that they're interested in. We will also work with them to use their voucher elsewhere if they so choose. We also give a little bit of education to landlords who are new to the program and who are willing to work with the voucher program. And there are certain rules and regulations that you do have to follow if you are interested in being a voucher holder. The gist of this information can be found on our website at househoward.org. Specifically, there's a tab that says Housing Choice Voucher Program. If you click that tab, it goes through all of the different pieces of information that are relevant to the voucher program. There's a fact page, which is really good information. There's a link directly to the HUD website. So if you have specific questions, you can go straight there. We also have information for landlords. We also have our administrative plan, which is our rules and regulations for how we are personally administering the voucher program here in Howard County. There's also some videos for additional education if you are further interested in the Housing Choice Voucher Program. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our Family Self-Sufficiency Coordinator.
Thank you, Sierra. Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara, and I'm here to present two fabulous programs offered by the Howard County Housing Commission and that are geared towards voucher holders. So the first program is the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, FSS for short. And for those enrolled in the FSS program, my responsibility as the coordinator is to motivate HUD-assisted families, so voucher holders only, to reach self-sufficiency by encouraging them to increase their earned income and reduce their dependencies on subsidies. And I do this by linking our participants with our amazing community-based services in Howard County and encouraging them to follow through. We can go to the previous slide. I'm so sorry. Yep, perfect. Thank you. So while in this 5-year voluntary program, the participants create goals for themselves. I sit with them and we create goals that they must fulfill in the program. And some of those goals include becoming free from cash assistance. That's a mandated goal. Obtaining and maintaining employment, which is also a mandated goal. Increasing their income potential, higher education, learning a trade, becoming qualified for first-time home ownership, financial literacy, so on and so forth. So as you may know, for families on the voucher program, if their income increases, so does a portion of their rent. And sometimes, not all, but sometimes it leads to a decrease in motivation. But hence birthed FSS, because in the FSS program, we incentivize increases in rent that are a direct result as an increase in earned income. And generally, we match that increase in rent dollar for dollar, and we put it in a savings account and hold it here at the commission. And that's essentially called an escrow. So once the family fulfills all of their goals that they created at the beginning of the program, they graduate from the program, and then we literally cut them a check for the amount of money that we have been saving for them throughout their journey in FSS. And many of them then use those funds towards a down payment on a home, to purchase a vehicle, to fund their children's college account, so on and so forth. So the biggest takeaway from the FSS program is they must be a Howard County Housing Commission voucher holder issued by Howard County Housing Commission, must be willing and able to work, must be willing to work on goals, and also must be willing to become free from cash assistance. And just to bring this to life, pictured here are some real graduates from our program. Each of them increased their earned income, they built their savings, they achieved major financial milestones. And essentially, this is what FSS success looks like. This is exactly what the program is designed to do. So to transition, we also have what's called a voucher homeownership program, to where voucher holders can essentially transition their rental subsidy to a mortgage subsidy, and essentially expands first-time homeownership and entry-level homeownership. There are several requirements to be placed on our waiting list for this program pending our lottery drawing. There's an income requirement, a credit score requirement, savings requirement, and the participant must also be able to secure a home loan. Next slide, please. Excellent. So my information is listed. Oh, went a little bit too far, but my information is listed here. Please feel free to contact me with any questions that you may have. And please also follow us on Instagram. Thank you.
There was one question, and I thought this might be a good time. It says, I'm wondering, how does this help if you are considered disabled?
The Family Self-Sufficiency Program or the voucher program as a whole?
I'm not sure if Ms. Jones can clarify.
But I can clarify in terms of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. So while it is a voluntary program, voucher holders can enroll in the program. There is a requirement that you must be employed prior to graduation. So employment looks different for everyone. Sometimes it's part-time, full-time, PRN. Whatever works for you is whatever works for you. Sometimes it's 10 hours a week, 40 hours a week, but nonetheless, employment is required. So we'll talk about what that really looks like for you and works best for you. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Next slide.
Yes, next slide, yes. Pass it on to Ms. Jessica Harris with Resident Services.
Hi, guys. My name is Jessica Harris, and I am the Resident Services Coordinator for the Howard County Housing Commission. And I'm briefly going to go over the program and just show how it's a strategic amenity that actually protects our assets and increases retention. It decreases retention and strengthens affordable housing communities. That's a typo. Next slide. All right, resident services. So in affordable housing communities, Howard County Housing Commission owns affordable housing communities. I am assigned currently to 3 senior independent living communities, as well as 3 multifamily communities. So right now I am providing supportive services to Columbia Commons, Verona at Oakland Mills, and we have a partnership property, Robinson Overlook. My senior sites are Tiber Hudson, Morningside Park, and temporarily I'm at the Overlook at Monarch Mills. So as a service coordinator, my responsibility is to connect residents to supportive services and local resources, and actually coordinate partnerships with community providers, which is our Howard County, as Barbara stated, our lovely community partners that we have, that basically without them, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do. We assist with benefits, connecting to benefits, making referrals, health resources, almost like FSS, but not, we don't overlap. Financial stability part for resident services coordinator is someone who is facing eviction, and we assist with rental assistance, and then we move them on to a referral partner, a community partner who helps them with a grant to get rental assistance. The financial stability is making sure that they don't come back the following year in 12 months for the same grant. So we make those referrals to our partners. We support residents and aging in place in our independent living, and as well as our multifamily communities, because people do move in at, middle age, 55, and they age in place. So we do support. Next slide. So benefits to residents in the community. So increased housing stability, because if you have a service coordinator, you don't just have your leasing office where you just go to pay rent and put in maintenance. You have someone that can actually help you with your housing stability to make sure you have access to education, health and social services. We can reduce social isolation through community engagement and events. And it just overall presents a more stronger sense of community when you have a coordinator on site. Next slide. So benefits to our property manager. So Howard County Housing Commission, we do not self-manage our own communities. They're all third-party managed. But to our property managers, the benefit of having a service coordinator is it improves the rent stability and payment consistency. It improves communications with the residents. We don't mediate. We actually use MCRC. We refer out for mediations. We try and we support our property managers to help reduce evictions and crisis situations. We also support our property managers with non-property issues related to health and wellness and just housing sustainability. That just touches on just making sure that people who are past due on rent or have faced eviction, that we can help them to just get on track so that they don't have to continuously apply for grants to support their income. Next slide. So this is benefits to the owners and our asset managers, which is internal. Howard County Housing Commission, our asset management department oversees all of the third-party management companies in the communities. But the coordinators for the properties, we can protect the property's value because we're actually there. We can actually look at curb appeal when we go. We can report back to asset management and actually let them understand what we're seeing in the community, improve long-term tenancy as well. We also reduce turnover costs. That's because we can actually help people who are facing eviction. If we can help them to prevent eviction, of course, that reduces the turnover. And overall, just strengthen compliance and housing mission by just reinforcing the support that they have in the community with a supportive services, resident services coordinator available. Next slide.
Jessica, I have a question that says, what's the process to become a community sponsor? I think that's for you.
Community sponsor. Could you give me a little bit more community sponsor? I'm not familiar with a community sponsor. I am familiar with like a community leader or community support, where it's a resident that would actually work within the community to basically ensure the elderly or anyone that is 62 and older in the community living in a multifamily site, that they have support, someone to help them, with groceries and things like that. And also just engage the community to get together to attend any events that are being hosted by the property. I hope that helps.
If not, if the attendee could do a follow-up question in chat.
Okay. So overall, resident services as a strategic amenity, enhances property performance, strengthens partnerships, basically a recap of everything that I stated before, and supports resident success, and creates thriving, affordable housing communities. Next slide. So I will pass this over to, would this be Erica?
I think it might be Kim.
Oh, it's Kim? Okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. There we go.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. I'm Kim Zanti. I'm Chief of the Community Planning and Grants Division for the Department of Housing and Community Development with Howard County. I'm here with my colleague, Christine Martin, and we're also here with our colleague, Erica Smith. And we're going to talk tonight about rental assistance programs available to Howard County residents, including seniors, those with physical or mental disabilities, and for those in transitional housing. Next slide. So on the screen, you see the 4 divisions that comprise the Department of Housing and Community Development. That's also known as DHCD. There are 4 departments, starting with Homeless Services. Homeless Services operates the continuum of care that serves Howard County residents from the unhoused to the extremely low to low income households. The Housing Opportunities Division serves low to moderate income households. And the Community Planning and Grants Division funds agency partners, including the Commission, that provide direct rental assistance services to Howard County residents, from the unhoused to extremely low, low, and moderate income households. You see the Compliance Division, and the Compliance Division works across the other three divisions to ensure that our partner agencies, ourselves, and the renters adhere to program guidelines and mandates. So this evening, we're going to talk about the three divisions: homeless services, housing opportunities, and community planning and grants. Next slide. So as Barbara and our other colleagues at the Commission have talked about income eligibility, all DHCD programs are based on income eligibility. And that means, so for like the Homeless Services Division serves extremely low to low income households, and the Community Planning and Grants Division serves households with low income to moderate income. And that means as it's based on how it relates to the area median income. Next slide. So what is area median income, or AMI? It's the midpoint of household incomes throughout the county, and it's used to determine if you're eligible to apply. You can apply, but the income is what is the key eligibility factor to determine if you're eligible for affordable housing and our related programs. And we're going to talk more about that as we go along. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Christine Martin.
Hi, everybody. You don't have to move. I'll just twist this a little bit here. So good evening and welcome to the MIHU rental program segment of tonight's presentation. So what is the MIHU rental program? So it's defined as the moderate income housing unit that is an inclusionary zoning program that requires developers of new housing in certain zoning districts to sell, or in this case, rent a certain percentage, usually 10 to 15% of the total units, to households of moderate income at affordable prices and rents. So basically, to put it plainly, when a developer goes out and identifies a piece of land that they want to build into an apartment complex, before the plan is even recorded at the county, they go back and forth with their vision and how many units they want to have in this particular apartment complex. And then an agreement is put together between the Department of Housing and Community Development and the developer to earmark 10 to 15% of those units as our MIHU rental program. So as Kim was saying, it is all income driven as well. And next slide, please. You can go to the next one as well. So what defines a household of moderate income? As we spoke about the AMI, the area median income, which, by the way, if you're a numbers person, the AMI for 2025 was $140,971. So that is the middle point of what Howard County households for moderate income bring home. Basically, this number is really for like a 4-person household. So when you're purchasing a home, which we're not talking about tonight, we do have, and we actually, Barbara, have a couple of FSS success stories that have purchased MIHU homes through the program, which we're super excited about. But for rent, the rental income cannot exceed 60% of this area median income. So if you look at the column to the far right, for a household size of 1, the max amount that you could make to qualify for the MIHU rentals is $61,200. $732, and it just goes down by family size from there. Next slide, please.
I have a question that might have, oh, I see someone has already responded. Never mind. There was a question in chat, but Jessica took it, so thank you.
Got it. So what are the MIHU rental rates? First, I want to say that there are 21 participating communities in Howard County right now. And this is the maximum rental rate that they can charge a qualifying applicant. So this is determined, we determine the price, the income, which changes annually because, of course, the area median income changes every year. And we also price out what the maximum rental amount that they could charge. So for a studio, they cannot charge more than $1,543, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, down to 4 bedrooms. And again, this is a moving target annually. Next slide, please. How do I become an MIHU renter? Next slide. So this process is extremely simple. We don't get involved in accepting applications. You would actually go on our website. You can Google MIHU rental. I want to rent in Howard County. Will pop up. And after the first paragraph, you'll see a link to all of the participating communities. And just to give you the lowdown, there's 2 communities in Laurel, 3 in Hanover, 6 in Elkridge, 8 in Ellicott City, 1 in Annapolis Junction, and 1 in Jessup. And on this list, you'll see the name of the community. It gives a beautiful little description of what kind of apartments they are. And then it'll tell you whether they have studio apartments, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, or what they have. Now, their rent is going to be different for each community. It's up to them to set that pricing as long as they don't go over the maximum that we saw on the previous chart. There are 2 communities that include utilities. The rest, you would have to pay your utilities based on your usage in addition to your monthly rent. But what would happen is you would call each community to see if they have availability, and you would make the application directly with the rental process. So we do not get involved in evaluating your application. The leasing agent, if you want to go to the next slide, please. The leasing agent will accept the MIHU and standard applications. They will determine the MIHU eligibility based on the total household income and the size. They'll determine if your income, credit, and other requirements are sufficient for approval. And just keep in mind that each community might have different criteria for what is an acceptable credit score and so on and so forth. But they have to comply with our income and max rent criteria. And then if everything matches up, they'll initiate a 1-year lease based on your eligibility. We always tell people that when you are, if they do have an availability, that you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. So it's going to be like applying for a mortgage. You would need current pay stubs, your W-2s, tax returns, 1099s. So I'm sure each community has a list of documentation that they want you to provide. Just make sure that you're ready for all of that. And there are certain different pay circumstances as well. We don't have a slide on this, but if you're a Lyft or an Uber driver, teachers work 10 months versus 12 months. So there's a lot of moving parts that goes into the qualification process. But again, the leasing agent will guide you through all of that. At the end of the 1-year lease, you will have to prove that you still qualify. If you still fit within the income requirements and the family size, then you can renew the lease. So just make sure that you keep the leasing agent informed if your family is growing or if your income changes. So if it changes, that doesn't necessarily mean that you get evicted. it means that you may be bumped up to the market rate price for the rental if you are no longer qualified. Next slide, please. So this is the website that you can go to. You can certainly call us or you can email us, and we'd be happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. Some of the frequent questions that I saw is, when can I apply? You can apply whenever. There are no restrictions or open enrollment periods. You just have to find a community that has availability. If you don't care about the location, I would call all of them. Sometimes they'll say that they don't have any MIHUs available. Ask if they have a waiting list and to be put on the waiting list. And we don't have any minimum income requirements, but the leasing agency might. So just make sure that you're conforming to what they have as their separate requirements. And any questions, we are happy to answer. Thanks. We'll pass this off to Erica.
Actually,
no, are you coming back to you? Sorry, back to Kim.
Back to you, Bob. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Community Planning and Grants Division. We don't work directly with residents. We work with our partner agencies, typically nonprofit agencies that provide services, housing services and programs to residents. So I just want to give you a little overview of where that funding comes from, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of our agencies. So we distribute federal funds and county funds, which our agencies apply for annually through a competitive process. And the CDBG funds are the Community Development Block Grant Funds, and home funds are Home Investment Partnership Funds. And they cover a wide spectrum of programming that, again, we fund our agencies for them to distribute through their programs. And at the county level, we have funding such as the Community Renewal Fund and the Moderate Income Housing Units Fund, which also supports a variety of programs. And next slide, please. So these are agencies that provide, we work with quite a few agencies, but these are the key agencies that provide rental assistance to low and moderate income households. You may be familiar with some of their names, but Bridges to Housing Stability is a longstanding community partner. They offer several programs. Bridges Alliance is a program that, like the Commission, they own several low to moderate income housing units that you can apply for. And I have my contact information in the chat, which I'll post after I'm done. But really, because I deal mainly with the agencies, you'll want to go to these websites that you see on the slide to contact them directly. So back to Bridges, the Bridges Alliance program is low to moderate income housing units that are rentable. Home Start program is a really innovative program, as is the Home Share program, which we fund and partnered with Bridges to initiate. Home Start is for families with children enrolled in the Howard County Public School System. So if you have a child or have children that are in the school system, you can qualify for low to moderate rates in rent for housing. Home Share is for individuals who seek to rent a room or a space in an established household in the county. And so those programs fill up fast, like I think Sierra or Barbara were talking about earlier. These programs get filled up and there are waiting lists. But so if something interests you, it's a real good idea to go as soon as you can to those websites. Columbia Housing Center, they sort of serve as a clearinghouse for information about low to moderate income housing in the county. And one of their programs that we also initiated and funded with them is the Student Rental Subsidy Program, and that is specific to students in the county enrolled for at least 6 credits at Howard Community College. And they will pay up to, I believe, $800 a month for 2 years while the student is enrolled in the community college. Community Action Council, they offer rental assistance programs. Again, income eligibility is the priority or is the main factor, and also eviction prevention programs. And as was mentioned earlier, these agencies depend on funding. And if the funding is available, they distribute it through application process. And finally, the ARC of Howard County, they provide programs, day programs, and other types of programs, plus moderate income housing. Or actually, this program is it goes from extremely low to low moderate income for those with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Next slide. Okay, good. So, and I'm going to turn it over to Erica Smith. Erica, you're muted.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Smith. I am the Housing Resource Navigation Manager here at DHCD in our Homelessness Service Division. So as Kim said in the previous slide, a lot of the agencies that we're connected to, as far as Bridges to Housing Stability, Columbia Housing Center, I'm kind of the portal and connect to those resources if an individual is calling, if they are currently housed or unhoused and they're experiencing homelessness. Or they're at risk of imminent homelessness or already about to be evicted or need assistance, you could reach out to us. The first line of contact would be Grassroots, which you would be in contact with the Grassroots crisis person that will do a housing assessment for you over the phone and then make the determination, which they do something called diversion, to see if they can divert it somewhere where we can assist you with the housing disparity that you have at that particular time, or it may come to me to see what program is out there that can currently help you. So with this segment, it's just talking about homelessness services, how to enter our system, what services are there, which you can access our crisis center at any time, whether in person 24/7 on Annapolis Road, you can walk in at any time. Again, if you reach out to us, what we will do is help you navigate through those issues. So if you're in a situation where you have someone living in your home that is in school, they meet the income requirement, they're taking 6 credits, just like Howard County Community College, and you're eligible for that particular program, and that would cure your housing disparity, prevent you from eviction. We will work on connecting you with those programs and kind of walk you through it to make sure that we want everybody stable and to be able to stay stable. So just want to let you know that those resources are available to you, allotted to you. Sometimes there are struggles with finding units, or if you have to transfer units. Sometimes we house a lot of our private landlords to be able to support you where you are and connect you to those resources. And I will turn it back to Kim for the next slide.
So an additional program that we don't administer, but we fund through the Housing Opportunities Trust Fund here at the county is the United Way of Central Maryland, which offers rental subsidies for those who are 62 years old and older. And to qualify, you must spend more than 30% of your income on rent, are 62 years or older, and are a resident of Howard County. And the email on the screen, hoco.renthealp@uwcm.org, is the contact email to inquire about that program. You could also go to the United Way of Central Maryland website. And next slide. actually, the next slide is just questions. And so if anybody, and I see Tracy posted in the chat that Community Action Council, yes, also has food and energy assistance programs too, which again are income qualifying programs. So, and I think that's it for us, unless Erica, did you have more?
I just wanted to add, along with Community Action Council, Homelessness Services do work alongside of them as well. So sometimes there are situations where extended funding is needed that is outside of their purview. And we can come in and assist in a bid for those that are trying to stabilize where they are.
Okay. Right, and someone else just posted too. CAC also does offer first month's rent assistance. It's really worth going. They have lots of programs at CAC, and Community or Columbia Housing Center is continually adding programs as well as bridges. So familiarizing yourself with those websites is a good idea. Does anyone have questions for us?
Some of them were getting answered as we went along. I have a thank you so much, and you answered all of my concerns. And Jessica also posted that Home of Our Own will provide gently used home furnishings and appliances, but you need to be referred by a case manager. So I think are there any questions that we haven't addressed as we go along? Ms. Jones, I don't know if we ended up answering the question you had asked at the very top. About the community sponsor and the community partnership process as well if issues arise.
Tracy,
I was going to say, yes, I will send around this recording, and I believe I have permission to share the slides as well. We have a question. Who do I call for help if I have been homeless for 3 months and been to several places and, hold on, just lost the question.
Right.
And they don't have any openings. What do I do next?
Have you called grassroots first to do, that would be the first step, to call grassroots. If you have called grassroots and done an assessment, I am going to put my email address in the chat and you can email me and we could talk about what's going on and how to get you assistance and support.
And the chat is also talking about a new program where the portal is opening. Jessica, is this the one that you spoke about already?
Yes, this is the one that we just got the information today from CAC. The portal will open on the 24th. The only thing is you can't have a voucher. You can't have a housing choice voucher. You can't be in a tax credit unit, but I put all the eligibility and the information. I can't share in WebEx the flyer, but if anyone's interested in this program, please email me. I put my email in and I will share what CAC sent to us today.
Terrific. All right. Any other questions?
I see Mr. Taylor's reply. So Mr. Taylor, if you could just shoot me an email, I put your put my email address below your response. If you could just email me and I'll look into that for you.
Miss Taylor.
Miss Taylor, my apologies.
Miss Taylor.
All right. Well, I want to thank.
You have a few more questions
coming. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let me go back. What if I need rental assistance, but I have 1 more year on my current lease? Do I need to break my current lease to have an opportunity for affordable housing?
My response to that is for the agencies that we showed, Bridges, Community Action Council, Columbia Housing, they would probably not want you to break your current lease. Because you have a current lease does not make you uneligible for affordable housing. So my recommendation is that you would contact the agencies to see what their specific guidelines are, but probably would not have to break the lease. But again, if you have concerns about the lease itself and the amount that you're paying for rent, you want to talk to the rental community, to the property manager, the leasing agent, to see what might be done.
Has a law been passed yet that you can't be denied based on credit? And I'm assuming that's limited to housing programs that we've been discussing.
I think that's true. I think that is actually limited to housing voucher programs. That law was just passed in the Maryland State Legislature, and the specifics of it, I don't have it in front of me, but you can't be discriminated against based on your former credit rating, and I believe income. So, yeah.
And I don't know if Miss Gilliam is still on here. I know she mentioned probably it was October. It may not be in effect until October. Maybe Barbara, you can.
Correct. It's not until October.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Thank you. Let's see.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I wanted to thank our speakers because you guys got a lot of bang for the buck for the hour. A lot of great experts, a lot of great resources, a lot of great information. For our Tenant Tuesday program, we have one more, which is next Tuesday. The Office of Human Rights and Equity will be talking about fair housing protections, discrimination, etc. And hopefully you have had a chance to register because I know Todd Gibbons will provide a really great program. And unless there's anything else, I'm going to, again, thanks everybody and look for an email from us in the next week or so once I've clipped the video, and I will get the video link and the slides back to everybody. And thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Bye, all. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Tracy.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.